Good morning, Robert Scribbler filming south and east from Jeanette's Pier. Just saw 2 surfers pal out, but not sure if I can catch them at this point. There is quite a swirling mess of whitewater. Pretty gnarly right now with some 3 to 6 foot waves. Rolling in off the North Atlantic, strong northeast winds. Behind the front, I'm betting the ECSC down there at First Street is pretty gnarly as well. Although likely to see some fun rides today with that gnarly surf. Throughout the day today, wind's going to die down slowly. Wave height's going to die down, get more pleasant over time. This reminds me a lot of the winter surf here in the Outer Banks. Not quite as bad as some of the days I saw during winter, but definitely a bump up from the 1 to 2 footers we've been seeing a lot of recently. All right, so let's get down to some of the local wave reports from our wave monitors right now here at Nag's Head. We've got 3 to 6 foot waves, choppy conditions, east-southeast swell at 5.6 feet. Actually, it's probably more from the northeast. Looks like the angle of the swell is more from the northeast. So we're just going to call that a northeast swell at 5.6 feet and 9 seconds. Northeast winds 20 miles per hour. Air temperature is 78 degrees. Ocean water temperature is 77 degrees. Looking north to Virginia Beach, 3 foot plus waves, choppy conditions, so probably relatively gnarly down there at the ECSC. With a lot of chop and slop down there at First Street. Good luck to all the fellow competitors down there at the ECSC, all the amateurs and pros that are enjoying the waves today at the Coastal Edge East Coast Surfing Championships. All right, heading on down south to Road Anthony, we got 3 to 6 foot waves, choppy conditions, a northeast swell at 6.5 feet and 9 seconds. Northeast winds 24 miles per hour. Air temperature is 79 degrees, ocean water temperature is 82 degrees. And heading on down south to Buxton, we got 3 to 6 foot waves, choppy conditions, northeast swell at 6.1 foot and 7 seconds, northeast winds at 24 miles per hour. Air temperatures 77 degrees, ocean water temperatures 83 degrees. And last of all at Frisco, we've got 1 foot plus waves and some side shore current with some side shore texturing. All right, so let's get down to some climate and tropical discussion. We did recently have Hurricane Hilary make landfall in California as a tropical storm. Unprecedented event there for California, which recently flooded Death Valley along with a number of other locations in California due to the torrential rains related to Hilary. Tropical cyclones being able to strike further north than typical climate zones would indicate is an indicator of human-driven climate change. And we've also seen the terrible impacts due to the Lahaina fire in Hawaii. Drought is not normal for Hawaii, nor is the extreme winds that helped fan the fires as we saw earlier this month. And we got a couple of surfers paddling out through the channel trying to make it to the break. Guess they walked back down, got back out. So you want to stick close to the pier when it's like this because the channel does provide an open zone to get out into the larger waves. All right, so it is also worth noting, I'm going to get back to climate a little bit as we watch these surfers duck dive through this churning waters. Dr. Michael Mann recently noted that these extreme weather events, many of them driven by climate crisis and global heating. Again, once again, the notes from our scientists we encourage everyone to listen to. All right, so let's get down more to the tropics, particularly the tropical Atlantic. So right now, Tropical Storm Harold has made landfall in South Texas, also bringing some torrential rains to the region, although not as rough as the impacts we saw from Hilary in Southern California. Let's watch a surfer drop in, get a few humps and cutbacks there on a gnarly little choppy wave. And then we also have Franklin in the Caribbean. Tropical storm Franklin is right now making landfall in Dominica and dumping a boatload of rain on Hispaniola right now. Franklin is expected to track over Dominica and Hispaniola and then exit into the Atlantic and then track toward Bermuda. And so as Franklin gets out into the Atlantic, we expect it to become a wave maker here for the East Coast. Hopefully not striking land anywhere of note. Hopefully Bermuda will be okay. Franklin is expected by the National Hurricane Center to become a hurricane over the next few days. And of course, all this information about the tropics that I'm providing for you, given and originally provided by our good scientists over at the National Hurricane Center. All right, so we also have a tropical disturbance in the central North Atlantic that is heading north through the central central northern tropical Atlantic. This system has a 70% chance of developing into a cyclone. And the last system that we are monitoring for the Atlantic right now is a disturbance that exited from Africa over the last couple of days and now heading, it's in the eastern tropical Atlantic, now heading toward the central tropical Atlantic. And that system has a 30% chance of development. So we're right now monitoring count them, four systems in the Atlantic that are either tropical storms or have the potential to become a tropical cyclone. So lots of activity right now in the Atlantic, and a lot of that driven by the warmer than normal waters in the Atlantic Ocean, driven by climate crisis, which is in turn driven by fossil fuel burning. Okay, so now we are going to be wrapping up our OBX wave report for today as we watch some surfers getting into some gnarly stuff. There as a big wall of whitewater runs toward them, and another one, big old gnarly whitewaters pushing at them. They're heroically paddling out through. Look at that giant swath of white. So gorgeous. Okay, so as I typically do, I just like to ask you guys to please do everything you can to support your climate scientists, your climate activists, and also do everything you can to help speed the mass deployment of clean energy, which will help to defend our climate from the impacts of fossil fuel burning, which is driving the climate crisis. It will also help defend our coastlines from the impacts of that climate crisis, being rising sea levels, more intense storms, ocean heat waves that cause so much damage to our oceans and turn the ocean into a really nasty, sick environment, as well as the ocean acidification that goes along with all that fossil fuel burning. All right, so thank you for joining me once again. Big shout out to all the folks down at the East Coast Surfing Championships and Coastal Edge. What a wonderful competition. It was a big honor to take part in it yesterday, and just good luck to all the surfers down there. Hope you guys perform your individual bests and get out there and express both your artistry and your athleticism on the gorgeous tapestry that is Mother Nature here. Thank you for joining me once again.